what it is, all right? But for those who don't know, that's why we're here to address it. That's why I wrote the editorial. So again, if you want to see where the rubber hits the road, where the systematic failure actually hits the pavement, you don't need to look any further than these two suburbs, Dalton and Harvey, Illinois. Now there are others, and just to be fair, but we I've highlighted these two suburbs on my editorial because I've personally dealt with these two suburbs. On one side, we're dealing with real public safety crisis. Over the last few weeks, even in Dalton, we've seen families left grieving and demanding answers for the tragic shooting of pro basketball player Capri Austin at a local lounge. And we will show the clip on that. Also, an agonizing 2-month wait for an arrest on the fatal hit and run of let's go back to the Austin. I just want to show a picture of Capri, the Austin case. And we'll talk a little bit about the Capri Austin case that happened at the local lounge. And also similarly suited, recent, same time frame in Dalton situation to where is a high school senior, Linnea Smith, right, pictured here, where the families are standing outside of Village Hall crying out for basic human rights and justice, right? So they want to know that when harm comes to their children, that the machinery of justice actually turns for them, right? We'll talk a little bit about these cases in a small, brief time that we're together, but I can guarantee you both of these families have yet to see the justice itself, right? So here's my thing. My thing is, again, as a journalist and someone who has been a victim of injustice in these communities, at least one of them to say the least, I can honestly say for sure, for a fact, that the wheels of justice are slow turning in these communities. And why is that? So that's what we want to talk about. Even in our case, my particular experience has been that of community provocateurs who were given state sanctioned allowance to address the community in the most negative sense. And I'm going to put a copy of the article. You can pull it up on Facebook or you can pull it up on the website itself. But even in our case, to where it's these provocateurs, basically a mob action was done July 14th of 2025 in Harvey, Illinois, and 154th and Myrtle. For those who know the area, right now it's an abandoned block. No one lives there. The community was being designed for a water reclamation district, which hasn't happened and most likely won't happen, or hasn't happened to this point, to say the least. But going back is the question, at least the question. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. The question is that I want to ask you guys listening is how can law enforcement let down or be non-existent or challenged to the level to where its community trust is waning? How can the community build a sustainable, trusted relationship with law enforcement when the department itself is facing a staggering $3 million lawsuit and is paid upon out multi-million-dollar lawsuits, both departments, all right? So if you're just joining us, what we're talking about, just to keep it short and brief, is we're talking about the challenges of community policing, right? So for those who are just joining, like, subscribe, and share. If you want to come into the chat and you want to voice your opinion, please feel free to do so. Amir Shakur Speaks broadcast on YouTube and Facebook. All right. All right, and I will tell you, no, the chat is not good. Hello, French, and some of our VIPs who are already, they're already at it. Thank you. Hello, Brian. Hello, folks in the chat. Come on, if you guys want to join us, feel free to come into the chat. I will leave a link. So we'll get back to the report. For those who want to come and voice their opinion, Now you can do it without being on the screen if you don't want to. If you just want to show your voice, it's good. All right. Hello, Conscious. Thank you for the great work that you're doing, and I will show you. I'll share you guys information. All right, as we're going through, this is going to be a brief chat, but again, it's about the editorial, and I'll share that link. So, getting back to the report, my report and our report, I should say, because it's about a community. This just isn't about a standard procedural error. The new information that we're getting is we're seeing families that are asking questions. We're seeing information and that's being given to the community that is not correct. Some of it is twisted narratives based upon real truths. So these are real questions that we have to ask. And I think that if we look at these communities, we can see the poster communities for bad behavior, both on a municipal sense and on a sense of community policing for those like conscious, for a matter of fact, and it's that you're here, who understand community policing. It's happening everywhere, but for some reason it's permeating in this community. And what is the it? The it is community policing. So for those who are understanding of criminal justice systems, there is a system called the broken windows. It means that if you go through a community and you don't address the broken windows, or you have to fix those broken windows, because if you don't, then what it is it's an invitation to those who have ulterior motives like drug dealers or crime or even prostitution to dwell. So you want to go in and you want to clean up the broken windows, add murals, clean up the tall grass and abandoned homes. And what it does is it gives the community a fresh perspective. And for those in community policing, it's called the Broken Windows Program, all right? And again, it's a term that we know and we use in criminal justice and we've used for years, all right? So going back, if you think about the weight of that for a second, we're talking about community violence that has been carried out, even not even just allegations, but substantiated reports of community violence that have been carried out. Say, for instance, even in this particular situation, where open provocateurs are allegedly attacking, and the allegations, I have to say allegedly because of legal action, but they're actually going through and they're attacking citizens in it's state sanctioned right after doing illegal evictions, right? So this is the incident on July 14, 2025 that happened to us. It was a mob action by a group called INA. And for those on the inside, they know exactly what it is, some of the folks in our chat. And what many believe is, again, it's a blind eye by the city of Harvey to incite chaos and allow these people to inflict harm in the community. When the public begins to suspect that the lines between the protectors and the provocateurs have blurred, the foundational contract, right, between the people, there is a contract between the people and the government, is officially dead. A July 14th mob action in Harvey, Illinois. Again, the picture shows the group assaulting activist Beth McBride on July 14th. And again, I was there. I was personally attacked. I was mortally wounded the most. I had a fractured eye socket and a broken finger. And again, I don't want to go into that aspect too much because we're looking at the global aspect of what's going on. All right. So failed community policing is a problem in these communities, and let's address those. So if you're in Facebook, if you are on YouTube, please feel free to come into the chat. And you guys know how I do stand up and speak out. And yes, you were assaulted. Good evening, Beth, and good evening, Crook County. Yes, how are things with you? All right. Yes, and hello. I hope everyone is well. So we will get back. And if you have questions, you guys, in the small time frame that we're together, please feel free to come into the chat. So I wanted to again talk about some recent cases that have gone on in these communities and to highlight my point. All right. Facebook and all that's happening with the municipalities. You can YouTube if you want to come on and talk about the municipalities if you're part of it and some of the things that you've observed, please. So the municipalities are already drowning, say for instance Harvey, in $140 million debt. When a city is faced to furlough public workers and rely upon a Cook County Sheriff's Police to do a lot of their heavy lifting just to keep basic patrols on the streets, it can't even afford more or financial uh, aspects of just keeping a regular police force. All right. Not to mention, what's happening now is recently paying a $3 million police brutality lawsuit. We're now working on a $3.5 million federal lawsuit. And it isn't just about budget deficits, it's a total structural collapse of the community's safety net. Meanwhile, while in Dalton, the cloud of public instability and administrative chaos surrounding local leadership has completely overshadowed the vital work of public safety, right? When a community sees its leaders locked into consistent internal warfare, when first responders like firefighters are publicly protesting safety concerns and forced overtime cuts, it creates a toxic environment and it sends ripples into the community itself and those who want to take advantage of the community to do what we're seeing now is we're seeing crime that's beginning to go up in Harvey, Illinois. We're seeing fires that have been going on, but more with a flurry of houses and communities being burnt, in this community being burnt down, not so much in Dalton, but Harvey, Illinois. So it sends a message to citizens that the people are fighting for their own political survival rather than the survival of the people on the blocks. So here is the editorial problem that we want to address. And yes, you cannot have effective community policing when a community doesn't trust the administration, right? So I want to go to a few videos and share my screen and to talk about this matter a little bit more in depthly. So we'll start with the situation on Linnea Smith to really address the concerns there, and then we'll come back around. And for those who don't know, Linnea Smith was a young lady who was hit and run. It was a hit and run on the 147th block of King Drive in Dalton, Illinois. Tragic incident. We'll go ahead and add that and let me get the report up, and then we'll come back and discuss it a little bit more. So.
Of 18-year-old Linnea Smith. She is the teenager that got hit by a car and then killed while she was walking to work.
Yeah, family is urging anyone with any information to come forward.
Family is mourning the loss of 18-year-old Linnea Smith.
They broke a big bond in our family. It's hard.
The teen was struck and killed near Sibley Boulevard and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive on March 30th at around 5:30 p.m. while walking to work. The driver fled the scene.
You're heartless, unsympathetic. You killed a young lady with so much life, so full of life.
Family says it's been agonizing not knowing why they drove off and why they haven't turned themselves in.
Preparing myself to know that they're probably not going to come forward, because if you left the scene like that, you're not going to come forward. They're going to have to catch you, and I just hope they do. You know, I'm in this to get, awareness about my needs, and I need justice for Linnea. Like, the person that did this needs to be caught.
Police are now looking for this red 2007 Chevrolet Corvette with a black top and the driver. The Hyde Park Academy High School student was part of the school.
So we'll wait for that to queue up. I think 1 second, family. I believe that we're having, yeah. We definitely will make sure that we get to the Linnea issue. And so, again, just to recap, Linnea's issue was a hit and run driver basically hit this child, 18 years old, prime of her life, being getting ready to graduate. And we'll go back and we'll go ahead and pull up the effective video of that. Um, the news is now coming out that the person was the young person, apparently an 18-year-old, but for some reason is suspiciously being tried as a juvenile in that case. And first, not sure why this person is being tried as a juvenile, but I don't believe that a lot of information is being released, and I'm not sure why that is. We haven't seen very few police reports about that. So this is the Linnea, the fatal hit and run of the 18-year-old Linnea Smith, right? Linnea family. The family is still wanting and reaching out for answers in that case. And let's go ahead and pull that back up. The high school senior who was hit and run this past summer. And again, the family is going without answers. So Dalton itself is going through a particularly questionable period of where's justice? Where's justice? We want to talk a little bit about the Capri Austin case and in a recent board meeting, and we'll go back and pull up the Smith issue and the Smith. Let's call it for what it is: the hit and run murder of this baby. Because I do not want that to go without being addressed. So while I'm waiting on the video to be queued up correctly, not sure why it's failed, but we'll go back and bring that up. So this past board meeting, if you've had an opportunity to watch the board meeting in Dalton, Illinois, then you will see the family of Capri Austin. It's just a tragic set of circumstances. And they spoke out about how systematically they feel like their voice wasn't being heard. And, for a lot of the onlookers, including myself, we've had questions about that murder for many, many, many years. Not just in this case, but the policing that's going on in that community for many, many years, I should say, out of clarity. All right, so let's go to the video about that, the recent board meeting where the family met, and prayers. Thank you, Jackie, and prayers to your all of you and your own personal situations that you've had to deal with. So we'll go ahead and add the recent board meeting to the stage, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss these issues and break them down for more. All right.
Okay, I think as now we will transition into public comments. We'll ask anybody who has comments for this body, please come forward. You have 3 minutes.
My name is Natalie Norman, and my son was brutally murdered in Dalton, Capri, Austin, on May 21st. I'm here because I want updates on the charges. I want to know what the holdup is. Why haven't this man been charged with the murder of my son? Who can murder somebody and walk away? You looked in my face and told me that they were going to be working on this. And no one is charged. That place is open. I know a lot of people thought my son was a nobody. But as y'all can see, that he was a professional basketball player. He played for the IBA, the ABA. Just didn't make it to the NBA. He was loved by many people. He was loved by many people. And I know that y'all think he was a nobody. His life matters. Shame on you. It's dead. And nobody has been charged. He was brutally murdered, center mass. Center mass. That's what the doctor told me, center mass. You should be ashamed of yourself. What you got going on here? I want to know why nobody has been charged. I have no updates. I have no updates. Where's my updates? Somebody needs to be charged with the murder of my son. Somebody needs to be charged with the murder of my son. Who does? It's been 14 days since my son was laying on the ground. He died on November. My dates are wrong. He died this May 21st at 11:48. The police didn't come by my house till 3 a.m.
I will say we've reached 3 minutes, but I will comment to the point of saying that our office has made outreaches, and of course, the charging decision is not one that comes from the Village of Dalton. The Village of Dalton does not have the authority on that matter, but we will continue to make sure that we are. I don't know, Chief, you have any comments on here? But the charging decision does not come.
Send the information to the state's attorney, please.
Chief, you have comments?
So the Dalton Police Department is investigating. Can you hear me? The Dalton Police Department is investigating. Mom and Dad, I've spoken with you guys. We met in person. I've spoken with both of you on a number of occasions since this has happened to try to give you some updates and explain to you the process. Our detectives collect the evidence. When the evidence is collected, some of the evidence has to be sent for analysis. Analysis does not happen in most cases overnight, but we try to expedite it as much as we possibly can. Ultimately, charging decisions, more especially in first-degree murder cases, are the decision of the Cook County State's Attorney. My detectives have been in consultation with the Cook County State's Attorney, the head of felony review, on this case since the incident occurred.
So I want to stop right there. I definitely wanted the video to play out a little bit more, but I do want to say that according to the state's attorney, there's conflicts of information with this report in the Austin case. So they're saying that they're not in constant communication with the Dalton police, and there's been little communication and correspondence between the two. I want to let this play because I definitely want to highlight, again, this was highlighted in the report, and I want the community, for those who haven't seen it. So for those who don't mind, I just want to let it play out a little bit more so folks can be aware who have not seen this video footage.
ultimate charging decision comes from the Cook County State's Attorney, not the Dalton Police Department in this case. We anticipate that the Cook County State's Attorney's Office is going to make a charging decision in the coming days, but we cannot tell you exactly when that's going to be, because ultimately, once they are satisfied with all of the evidence that they have received, then they make a charging decision. And that's where we're at as far as our investigation is concerned right now.
So the holdup is the state's attorney's office?
The holdup is the investigation, the totality of the investigation. Like I've explained it to you, and I get it. Trust me.
I don't think you get it.
No, I don't.
Have you had a child murdered in the streets?
I have empathy for you, ma'am, and humility for you. No, I have not. But once again, there are certain processes that we have to follow because we don't want this to fall through the cracks. We don't. And if we make one misstep, we all know with the justice system, that's a possibility that it can happen and fall through the cracks. So we're doing our due diligence and working with the state's attorney's office in order to bring this to a resolve and to assist them in their decision-making of what charges they want to bring forward.
My last question, I know I have to go. If it's an open investigation and you're still investigating, why is that raggedy place open? So an open investigation, why is it open?
What's that? So in this case, and I will say this from a legal perspective, everybody involved, until somebody has received charges, all parties do have rights for them. So what we will do is a complete investigation, as Chief has indicated, so that we can work with state's attorney to bring it to as quick a charging decision as possible.
My name is Shanier Austin. I am Capri's dad, and I want to say this first. Capri is special. He's been special, and I want to say this to everybody up here. I want to thank everyone from all the way from here to there to there to there to there for looking at us when we're talking. Belcher, you weren't looking at us. You weren't looking at us. You weren't looking at us, and that said a lot to me. Just chill, just chill. Listen, my son was special. My son checked off all the. My son checked. Y'all calm. My son checked off all the boxes. He went to school. He stayed out the streets. He went to college. He had an exceptional career in basketball overseas. He did all of that stuff. And all I'm asking right now as a father, I would not allow my son's death to go unheard or unanswered. We need answers. I want to know why this business is still open. What I've come to understand is that, man, when violence happens at businesses, an investigation, it should be shut down. We should be shut down. And we would not stop until my son's death is answered for. And so whatever y'all got to do, whatever it's going to take, we're going to keep showing up here. We're going to march down there. We're going to stand in front of his business. We're going to do whatever we can to make sure that Capri Austin, his name be remembered forever. And I understand process. But listen, process is painful. I wake up every day seeing my son laying on the ground. Some man, DeAndre Rucker, standing over here, shoot him 3 times. I see it. It's painful. All I'm asking is please get it done.
that's the situation, and I don't. I definitely wanted to just give that report a little bit of time to really allow this young man's situation to marinate. Uh, Tonight we're talking about failed community policing, and the factor is, and the phenomenon is, it's permeating in these communities. And the questions that we must answer, we have to think about the weight of that for a second. We're talking about community policing and lack thereof in impoverished communities where the system seems to let down the community members more often than not. All right. And in this case, the Austin case, which I wanted to begins to suspect there's between the protectors and the provocateurs, which exist in this case, right? There are allegations of a level of provocation that's being happening, but it's almost being blurred because there's no accountability or lack of accountability from the officials on the ground, both in the political sense and in the policing sense. Um, Mishandling of the cases, uh, not an adamant amount of communication. Unfortunately, the family is almost with their back to the wall, and they feel like that justice hasn't been served. In the foundational contract that we know of that says, "Hey, we are serving and protecting our community." Can this police chief that you just saw say that they're doing that? Can this department say that they're abiding by serve and protect? Uh, and many of the citizens believe that the government in both communities believe is officially dead. Again, it's all of this is happening while these municipalities are drowning in debt, drowning in plight, with abandoned buildings and businesses that are leaving in droves. And Harvey is a little bit more distinctive than Dalton, which is a little bit more subtle. But from the standpoint of local media and local news and recent incidents, um, unsettling. I can say for a fact out of that community itself, leadership in the policing itself has been in transition, and they've had multiple policing. We don't want to put a dark cloud over this particular municipality or Harvey or Dalton. But what we want to do is we want to speak truth to the matter. And the reality of it is we can't whitewash a lack of community policing, a lack of systematic misinformation that the public sees as growing, right? When you have a police chief that says that they're in contact with the state's attorney's office, and the state's attorney's office openly denies to media that it hasn't happened, well, I think that, where is the ongoing media presence, and what about the public relations factor in that community? That public relations liaison should be out there speaking directly to the community. So here's my thing: when a community sees its leaders locked in a consistent internal warfare, and when first responders, even like firefighters, are protesting over safety concerns and forced overtime cuts, it creates a toxic environment that takes away from the community, and it sends a message to citizens that the people in power are fighting for their own political survival rather than for the survival of the people on the block. Here is the editorial problem that I am trying to confront and that we are trying to confront on the air today. All right. And unfortunately, this meeting that the clip that you just saw happened a few days ago in Dalton, Illinois, wasn't even more than a week. And I'm not sure if there's been any changes because we don't know, because the leadership, they haven't really kept anyone informed. And I will say, out of fairness to them. Maybe it's in the hands of the state's attorney as we speak, but again, we don't know because there haven't been updates from a medium and a media specialist is something that I do. I would probably suggest that, basically get the communities engaged and we let them know because this is a murder. Mr. Austin, his murder happened in your community, and it is becoming a global viral and spiral that is looking and reflecting upon you folks very negatively. All right. So when a police department is under resourced, politically compromised, or distracted by multi-million dollar lawsuits, the response time should never lag. Investigations should never stall, and the communities should be informed because that's the least of what you guys can do, right? Right. So, reaction is not acceptable, but proactivity has to take place, right? But often officers become reactionary. These police departments become reactionary instead of being proactive. And when that happens, the gap between police and the people widens into a cannon, all right? The community stops calling because they feel like nobody's coming, or worse, they stop calling because they're afraid of who will show up, or will they get the justice that, they need when their young man or their young woman is faced with similarly suited situations and their life is compromised. All right, so we pray for justice for the Austin family. Let's go back to Linnea, and we will keep you guys engaged on what's happening with that and updated. And social media has kicked in overdrive. Influencers like myself, I'm an actual journalist and a global influencer. We'll keep you guys abreast of that. I definitely I will make it a point, and I will make it my mission to make sure that the community is informed in the most non-biased perspective. Going back to Linnea Smith, or Linnea, the Smith issue, and we'll play what I have is the 18-year-old high school student from Chicago who was tragically killed in a hit and run on March 30th, 2026 in the South suburban Dalton, Illinois. Again, the 2-month investigation, the juvenile suspect was arrested and charged in connection with the death and recently, a few days ago. And I'm not sure if we're understanding that this person is a juvenile. I believe in the state of Illinois, 16 makes you an adult. So if that person is 18, I'm not sure why they're being called a juvenile. And the reports are, what I'm being told is that this person is not a juvenile. This person should be tried as an adult. The incident, just as a reminder, and I do have a clip, on March 2026 at approximately 5:30 p.m., Linnea was walking to her job at a restaurant in Calumet City, in which she was struck by a vehicle while making a bus transfer on Sibley Boulevard and Martin Luther King Drive in Dalton. And for those who know the area, they know that intersection is a very busy intersection. The vehicle, investigators identified the striking vehicle was a red 2007, that's 2007 Corvette with a black top. The driver fled immediately after hitting her. There has been an arrest on June 3rd, and Dalton officials announced that a juvenile suspect had been taken into custody. There's twist in the story. I'm going to put it like that. Authorities confirmed that the suspect was 17 years old at the time of the crash, but is 18 now. Again, as I was under the belief that 16 years old was in the state of Illinois makes you an adult. So the charges, the juvenile was driving a Corvette and later hit the vehicle on fire to destroy evidence. He has been charged with leaving the scene of an accident involving a deadly fatality and arson. And there is a call for an audit trail. Linnea's mother has been publicly pleading, and as you saw, and we'll play that Fox News clip, for the suspect to be tried as an adult, and nothing that he had since he turned 18. Now he's remained free. He's walking free. And those are details that the community doesn't know because it's not being widely broadcasted. A little bit about Linnea's background. She was a senior at Hyde Park Academy in Chicago, and her mother, Lavondra, her mother is definitely someone who wants justice. The family is described as energetic, bubbly, and they seem to be very intelligent people. I have spoken with the family, and I am letting you folks know that I want justice in Linnea's case, and I will help and assist in either of these cases where I can, and whatever we can do to assist in these cases. I want to go to the news about that. Let me see if I can pull up the clip. We had a little bit of problems early on, but I want to pull up the clip about that, and then I will get back to you. Unfortunately, the clip is limited. So what I'll do is I will do a full-fledged editorial about Linnea's murder. But let's see if I can play what I have from Fox, I believe, at this point. All right. So bear with me and let's pull that up. I don't have any editors tonight, so it's just me running the ship, but bear with me and we'll get that.
He's watching this. Just know he's going to take accountability for what he's done. This is the most monstrous, inhumane thing that someone could do, and I have no remorse. Just like he showed me none when it came to my daughter, I'm going to show none.
More than 2 months after an 18-year-old girl was killed in a hit and run, someone has been arrested. Dalton police have confirmed a juvenile is in custody and charged in connection with the death of Linnea Smith. Smith was killed March 30th while walking to work near Sibley Boulevard and Martin Luther King Drive. She was a student at Hyde Park Academy and a member of the school's pom team who dreamed of becoming a nurse.
He was 17 at the time he killed her, but he's 18 now. He was able to enjoy his birthday within these 2 months of him being free. He should be tried as an adult. I need some real charges. I need real justice for my daughter.
The juvenile in custody has also been charged with arson after police say he lit his car on fire.
He's watching this. Just know he's going to take accountability for what he's done. This is the most monstrous, inhumane thing that someone could do, and I have no remorse. Just like he showed me none when it came to my daughter, I'm going to show none.
More than 2 months after an 18-year-old girl was killed in a hit and run,
so
someone
guys,
has been arrested.
I'm going
Dalton
to,
police have confirmed
I
the
want to
juvenile is in
stop
custody
this.
and charged
Give me
in
a
connection with the
second. Let
death
me
of
stop
Linnea
the
Smith.
record.
Smith was killed March 30th while...
So again, so the family has released information. I have been in contact with the family, and I'm going to continue to support that. So again, 17, now 18, during the crime, 17 still makes you, in the state of Illinois, still makes you an adult. And what gives when they are not even sure of the charges. And my question and my heart goes out to this family. So we will make sure that we do what we can from the Amir Shakur Speaks broadcast channel to help these folks get justice. All right. Let's go ahead and go to some of the comments. This was painful to see for me. And I do want to say, before we go into the comments further, that right when the incident happened, I made sure on my morning shows that I broadcasted the information out to the public, and I have assured the family and the community, I'm assuring you guys, that we'll stay intact with this and we'll follow both of these cases. All right, thank you. Your heart goes out to the family. Where is Kwame Rowe? This is Miss activist, Miss Jackie Johnson Sample, very well-known, renowned activist in Chicago. Where is Kwame Rowe? Where is the Illinois Attorney General's office? Where's the state's attorney's office? Illinois residents deserve accountability, equal justice, and public officials who enforce the law. Amen. I love that. And I thank you for your comment. And folks, if you guys are going to come on and you want to join, I'm going to put this. If you are on YouTube, come into the YouTube channel, Amir Shakur Speaks, and I did send a link. So if you want to come on and you want to join us, it is here waiting for you, and you can come in and be my guest and speak about it tonight. All right, let's go ahead and go into the comments and pull that. All right, we're talking about the Linnea Smith hit and run fatality, which this young 17-year-old baby lost her life. Unfortunate, to say the least. These cities have aligned themselves with wrong persons in their communities due to political views that is shameful. And I'm going to add to your point, leadership. Where is the leadership? I think we use that word too generously. Uh, are these leaders doing what they should do? And these are the things that are currently being called into question. And I can honestly say, I mean, if there's a fatality, if your life is taken in these communities, I mean, I shudder to think, will you get the justice that you need or you deserve, or will your loved ones, be it lack of investigation, be it waning investigations, right? All right, yeah. And Crook and all you guys, again, please feel free to come in and voice your opinion on the chat. All right. So going back, let's go ahead and continue. I'll go through the rest of the comments, and if you guys have any comments, thank you, Amir, for all you do for the community and bringing light to the community and helping those families. Amen. All right, and welcome, Project Higher Ground Media. We see you as well, and thank you for being part of this. Question is failed community policing, right? We're still talking about Linnea. Yes, sir. We're still talking about Linnea Smith, high school senior who was killed in a hit and run. And thank you so much. That is, it's an issue. So we cannot expect our youth to stay on. A lot of times we can't expect them to stay on the right path, or we can't expect our neighborhoods to thrive. We cannot expect violence to decrease when the very institutions meant to protect and serve are fractured from the top down. Harvey and Dalton don't just need more squad cars, they need more radical injection of transparency. They need federal oversight. Where are you guys at? Like Miss Sample said, where's the state's attorney's office, or even above? Where is the U.S. Department of Justice? We know that, even the agenda from a Trump DOJ, I mean, we're talking about policing, community policing, a platform which they ran on and they highlighted, but I don't see it being highlighted, especially when it comes to impoverished urban communities or urban communities of color. And absolute accountability is what we need. So it's time to stop treating. This is my message to a lot of the political leadership and why I wrote the editorial. It's time to stop treating our suburban suburbs like political playgrounds or forgotten financial afterthoughts. The citizens of Harvey and the families of Dalton deserve governments that function like a public safety apparatus they should trust and depend upon. We don't need to have investigations where people don't even have the basic questions answered. And even in the Austin case, I mean, weeks later, both cases, in Linnea's case, both cases, even in the case of the July 14th mob violence, to whereas a group of folks who were sanctioned by the government, by the local government, went out and they had been harassing, and they still are harassing public citizens. And I want to show you a little bit about that because it's a personal case of mine as well. Something that I personally went through and I was subjected to after reporting a squatter's eviction case in Harvey, Illinois, and we were checked. Right now, there's litigation on the table, which I have to be sparingly about, but I am optimistic that the wheels of justice are turning in that case because I'm behind it, and I will be willing to offer my support to both cases as well. So let's go back. If you have just joined us, and I will stand by the families, both families, as much as I can. And out of fairness to the city government, transparency is really my goal. And, we're not saying that, there's nefarious intent, but unfortunately, you leave the community to believe nothing else. You leave the community to believe that, we do know that there is a failure somewhere. There's a breach somewhere. There's a breach of public trust. And we can say that to be the case. So failed community policing, chaos in the south suburbs of Harvey, Illinois, and Dalton, and the recent cases that are coming to light. And we could even go back and talk about other cases of the last 20 years, the last 10 years, or even the last 5 years of just more of the same thing. The fruits of the rotten tree. Has anybody heard of that, right? Over the last 20 years, the city of Harvey and Dalton have been treated like less like municipalities, but more like private playgrounds for political insiders. And, you know, the federal, everything from federal convictions to, you know, money disappearing, you know. So family, we have to have a real unvarnished conversation this evening about what is happening right in our own backyards. And we talk about community policing, and we talk about public safety, and we talk about accountability as if they are abstract concepts that happened long ago. But I can honestly say that these things are going on right now. You know, these things are going on right now in our own community, right? So what gives? What will it take to get us on the right path in these communities? I can honestly say that I don't know, but that's why we're having this conversation, and that's why I wrote the editorial, right? So if you I just want to show a little bit about the mob action of July 14th and the chaos, you know, the chaos that happened. And that is a situation to whereas myself and some more community activists, I'm a community activist / journalist, community reporter. We were July 14th, 2025, we were reporting on a situation with abandoned squatters or squatters being in an abandoned building, and the police were there to throw the squatters out, and it had been announced at a public meeting. What happened after that is suspect, to say the least. As we were recording, we were attacked on that corner of 154th and Myrtle by a group of provocateurs, and we're fighting the case in federal court in downtown. It's a federal lawsuit against the city of Harvey and its leadership. And I want to show a video. These folks attacked us, assaulted a group of us, including myself, my daughter, other activists, Miss McBride, who's on the channel right now. My eye socket was shattered, a finger was broken. So I'm going to show a little bit about that. There's questions about a gun being on the scene. We don't know. These folks tried to evade the scene twice. They evaded, they fled the scene twice. And at the end of it, they were given $100 tickets, which we believe have been erased. The police reports have been erased out of the system. And I'm going to show you a little bit about that video, and then we'll come back. We'll come back to you guys and what questions you have. Give me 1 second and let's pull the video up. All right, I think we have it here. All right. So I want you to pay close attention to this scene. And on this particular scene is when a gun was found on the scene. And keep in mind, this was after this group had fled the scene on for a second time, not once, but twice. Okay. So let's go ahead and play it from there.
What do you need going on the other side? You good? All right, go ahead and step out, man. Turn around real quick. Hey guys, he's gonna search you real quick. Stand for. Hey, just search you. Who are you? Hey, Danny, who is it? No, her. Touch the vehicle. Who are you, ma'am? She's 7 officers. I got it. Take the touch the vehicle with him. I got it. Anybody pick up a flashlight? Anybody pick up a flashlight? Yeah, bro, here. Hey, you need one? I got it. drug paraphernalia. Got a holster. You got a holster? Sounds like 10. You found a holster. Are we towing this? $32.
Pay close attention to this part. 32 is a gun.
Yep.
So let's go back, and I want to show you this.
You got ID
All
on
right, hold on 1 second. All right, let's go back, and we'll stop it, and we'll pause it right there.
Hey, Manny, you want to get his info?
All right, there it is. So here is where we're at. So basically on the seat, you can see that you had drug paraphernalia. That's correct, French. Drug paraphernalia and a gun. I released the video, and the video was for you. So drug paraphernalia and a gun. These folks who one of them has a murder rap. The other one was under an order of protection, but they were let go on I-bonds after fleeing the scene twice, after assaulting multiple people with felony assault and battery, and they were let go on an I-bond, and all of the information had been released from the system, erased from the system, and the police narratives had been not only erased but even twisted. And when it came down to court, it was left in the municipal court of Harvey, Illinois, where we were locked out of court and told that we didn't even need to come. All right. When I went there, I was surrounded by police, and they told me that I didn't even have a case. And I'm like, I don't have a case. All right. Well, yeah, very, very draconian, to say the least. So, family, here we are. We need to have a real conversation, an unvarnished conversation this evening, and we have been having a real conversation. I think what we need to do is we really need to take this as maybe this would be the first in a three-piece series about failed community policing, and to get to the bottom of it. And we often talk about public safety, accountability. I do welcome the authorities, the police, in these cases to come, and the chief, or either Chief Dalton, the chief of Dalton, the chief of Harvey, to come and feel free to talk to the community or address some of these issues. I want to see where the rubber meets the road. I want to discuss systematic failures that you guys are not only a part of, but why are you allowing these narratives to exist in your community? All right. So what we're dealing with is a real public safety crisis in both communities, and we're seeing this play out in real time just over the last few weeks in Dalton and Harvey, and we've seen families left grieving and demanding answers after these deaths, Capri Austin, Lene Smith. And the waiting is really what gets me burned. The waiting and the misinformation from local authorities and the political pundits. I'm being repetitive because I'm re-emphasizing that there is such a need, such a concern. If you get a chance, go to AmirShakurSpeaks.org. Check out my editorial, and I definitely want all of us to continue following what it is on the lack thereof in the community of community policing in both Harvey and Dalton. And why is it that we are seeing the lack of community policing? Why is it that there is a lack of communication? Is it intentional? Is it, because you guys can't hire inexperienced officers? I need to really I want to look into this on a concise the police authority to come in and all of them, any of them, to come in and let us know. But until then, the public has to go on the assumptions of where we're at, and where we're at is policing is challenged in these communities. What we do know is there are twisted narratives that are going on, and if you don't fill in the blanks for us, then you leave us no choice. But we have to fill in the blanks, right? Think about the weight of that for a second. We're talking about, deaths and murders and fatalities. We're not just talking about urban communities that are impoverished. We're talking about provocateurs, individuals acting with state-sanctioned, right? We are talking about things that are happening in this community, and basically it's inciting chaos and inflicting harm to the citizens. And as I said before, when the public begins to suspect that the lines between protectors and provocateurs have completely blurred and been diminished, then they're going to stop paying attention, and some of them are going to take matters into their own hands. And not only is that dangerous for anyone, but it's dangerous for everyone involved. So let's begin to stand up and speak out and speak truth to power. I am going to go ahead and end this editorial, and I promise you guys on Linnea Smith, the Linnea Smith issue, and Capri, I will keep the reporting going on. If you get a chance, you can check out further information on the July 14th mob action that happened to myself and some other community activists and community reporters. Go ahead and look out for the Amir Shakur Speaks Urban Report. If you can, go ahead and go to amirshakurspeaks.org and check out my editorial on on this failed community policing, chaos in the suburbs. I want to be not only careful, but I want to be adamant that we want to be as unbiased as possible, but we have to be realistic as possible. All right. Questions, comments, I'll wait, I'll yield while I'm putting up my website. Do you guys have any last things, any things you want to say either now? You guys don't think about it, review it on the replay, and let me know if there's anything you'd like to see. The Urban Report is for you, and I'd like to be able to talk about it. I am going to get some of these families on to talk about from their aspect of it. We're going to interview them, and we're offering their support. All right. So true. I've been supporting Amir in his case since July 14, 2025. This has been very rough, but we're still pushing. Thank you so much, Ramona. I definitely can concur with what you're saying. Hey, listen, we are here to support the community. We're here to speak truth to power, and I won't stop until I accomplish that goal. Go to amirshakurspeaks.org and you can pull up my editorial. And yes, we will. And we also have a segment coming up about July 14th. So look out for that. And that's an ongoing project that we'll be announcing within the next day or so. All right. Hey, listen, guys, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you, Jackie Johnson Sample. Thank you, Crook County. Thank you, Ramona. Thank you, Beth McBride. Thank you, Project Higher Ground Media. Thank you, French. Thank you, everyone. Brian W.50. Thanks, Brian. Conscious. Thank you. It's good to have you here. And let's continue reporting. Let's continue sharing. Let's continue speaking truth to power, because we can't wait on the cavalry. We are the cavalry. What did French say? French said, we are everywhere. Well, we should be everywhere. And I agree. So look out for that. Go check out the this report, the failed community policing, and I will see you guys, and I'll include updates. So, all right, that's my time. I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys get back to your evening, and I'm gonna say that I'm out. So I appreciate you guys, and thank you for listening.